Nebraska.gov and click register now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
On the block with Strick and Austin.
Do we need to rename him Jedi McCarthy?
Oh, yeah, that would be funny. Yeah, he kind of looks like Luke Skywalker.
Is Jim Harbaugh his Yoda or his Obi-Wan?
Probably Obi-Wan.
JJ McCarthy, find your Yoda. That's what you have to do to have a successful season and be a first-round quarterback next year.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome into The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into The Breeze here on Ticket Weekends. Again, I am Harrison running the ones and twos. We got just me and Haas today, no DP. So again, you guys can always join the show. Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685, as well as we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. A couple of quick programming notes. We will be switching over to the Royals FM airwaves at, let's see here, 12:30. So just about half an hour, 12:30. We'll switch over. So again, if you want to stay plugged into the show, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo Channel 951. But Haas, bring you in here. How's it going, man?
Great. Happy Sunday. How are you?
I've been better, as you can imagine.
Is DP bringing back some Louis and things like that, or building more radio stations?
Yeah, I think he's probably got another one. Man, he's going to call it 93.7 the Buffalo down there. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not sure what he's up to. But no, on DP, he's always wheeling and dealing, making the company a better place, or at the very minimum, motivating other people to be greater. So it's just kind of, with DP, he's a guy that, you know, I'm never keeping tabs on, but he's just always doing something good. I don't know how else to say it. Like, he's a guy that's always working really hard and good guy to work under, to say the least.
That's DP, the Louis part. I don't know if you picked up on that, but
no, miss me on that.
I'm definitely a Nebraska fan, but I said it, I don't know, however many months ago, that Deion should have been the coach. And when he went to Colorado, he said, "Oh, don't worry, I'm bringing Louis with me. I'm bringing people with me." And the talent that he has there, they're definitely Louis Vuittons. It was a close first half, but great players make great coaches. You can be the best coach ever, and if you don't have players, then that's a completely different game. And Alabama right now is probably wondering what it's like to have a quarterback that can throw accurate passes less than 40 yards also. So
yes, Texas takes the win over them. It's yesterday was, I don't want to say it was a weird day of college football. There's a few games that made you scratch your head, Wisconsin being one of them as well. They take a loss, but other than that, just kind of looking at the Nebraska Colorado. Did you watch the full game? Because I'd imagine like not just Nebraska fans. That was probably a big one, even if you didn't care about Nebraska. Colorado's interesting if you like them or not. That's still a team that you're very curious to see what they look like.
I saw the fourth quarter because I was coaching. I had 3 games to coach yesterday, and it's just you turn over the ball. That's what happened.
Yeah, and once again, Nebraska is just kind of the, I guess that's like probably the painful part, right? Is because you kind of went into this week hoping the small mechanic stuff, the penalties, the turnovers, those are coachable, fixable. It was just more of the same, and it was stuff that was so bizarre, that just non-contact fumbles in the backfield over and over again. Just bizarre things that you don't ever see. I mean, you really just don't see that at a Power 5 D1 level where it just kind of all goes that bad so fast. It was just a more questions than answers kind of game, and maybe answers on things that we don't necessarily like the answers. So I'm going to kind of leave it there with that. It's 2 games in. Colorado, they're a team. How good they are, we're going to find out. But I'll tell you right now, so you look at Nebraska, they had 8 sacks on Sanders. That you would think that's a pretty dang good job. That's going to get the job done. Even despite that, Sanders still didn't have any turnovers. He still threw in the high 80%. Just incredibly efficient. He is just so hard to get rattled. You put him under pressure, and worst case scenario, he takes a sack, but he doesn't get loose with the ball. He tucks it if he feels that pressure. And if it's not there, he just eats the set. You never see him force anything. And when he has time, he's just surgical with it. The defense on that team is the only reason why I'm a little iffy to see what it looks like if they go against an elite team that's really good with the run. Because Nebraska was able to get that going a little bit until, you start fumbling the ball in the backfield, you're playing from behind. You can't really run the ball anymore. But, that's just kind of where I'm at. I think the only team that's going to have a real shot in taking down Colorado, you're going to be eating clock running the ball against them. Because, again, I think that's Colorado's weakest part is their defensive front. But other than that, offense, if it's a shootout, it's probably a team you don't want to see.
I mean, that and Travis Hunter just takes away half the field. So running the ball kind of takes that game plan out of the way. It's college football is always fun to watch. The Texas Tech Oregon game last night. Texas Tech was winning. Man, that's hard to say fast. And they threw a pick 6 late. You talked about sacks and turnovers. It changes the game. Like sacks are a big deal, but turnovers are just killer. And oh man, the level of quarterback play is different. I think right now in college football. Before I could say there's 10 great quarterbacks, 15 great quarterbacks. I only see 2 or 3 right now. The play of college quarterbacks, I'm not that impressed right now.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the biggest quarterbacks right now are going to be Caleb Williams. And let me get Caleb Williams' stats because he was obviously electric yesterday too. They beat Stanford. I mean, they killed Stanford. Again, if you're being honest, 56-10. Caleb Williams, 19 for 22, 281 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, right now it just kind of looks like those are the 2 quarterbacks in college football.
Ewers, Sanders, and Williams are studs.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers. He's up there for sure. And I guess I'll ask you about that game. Texas, Alabama. What were you kind of thinking going into that one? I'll be honest. I was actually kind of looking at Texas thinking they had a real shot at this one. Still surprised they won it. I wasn't picking them, but I thought they had a shot.
I'm just not used to Alabama having a shaky quarterback.
Yeah.
And so hearing questions on it's kind of like Nebraska. Is he going to be the quarterback next week? And to hear that, is he coming back in this game kind of question. It's surprising for a number 3 in the country who's probably going to be a 10, 11, 12. Just Texas played good defense. Texas ran the ball well. Texas looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Quinn Ewers, and then you still got Archie Manning behind there. So you still got some optimism in the future as well. But yeah, it's crazy. I think like the hardest part is Nebraska fans, and I don't want Nebraska fans to look at Deion and maybe you thought we should have hired him. I'll listen to that argument, but to think this happens is ridiculous. I understand that you see it in Colorado and you want it to happen that fast. You look at Michigan, that took 5 years to kind of get that place up and running with Jim Harbaugh up there. So again, I know it looks really exciting at Colorado with Deion, but I don't know how replicable that is. You know, he is a celebrity. He has those connections with this Sanders. He knew Travis Hunter. He knew Weavers. He knew all those guys. He had those connections, and he's held that the whole way. So I just don't know how replicable that is to have not only a celebrity, but a celebrity that has had that much talent. He knows those kids and that connections. That's just kind of Deion for you. I don't think that's very replicable anywhere else. Like, you'd have to have that kind of same hype around you that Deion did.
Well, the thing going for the Rule hire is I see him being there for 7+ years. Deion is going to be the next Cowboys coach. Let me say that again.
You said Deion needs to be the next Cowboys coach?
Deion is going to be the next Dallas Cowboys head coach, whether it's in 2 years or 3 years. I know he has to pay a lot of money if he leaves in 1 year, but when his son's done at Colorado and the Cowboys need a new head coach, Deion Sanders will be the Dallas Cowboys head coach. So do you want that in Nebraska? Do you want a new coach in 2-3 years just because he elevated the program and left again? You probably don't. You probably want continuity and stability, and you're okay with a 6-6 season instead of one really good season and then just rebuilding again. So I understand big picture, and I'm not saying, who knows, maybe Deion will stay 5 years, but
yeah.
He has the right to coach in the NFL with who he was as a player.
Yeah, and he was already getting America's team headlines yesterday, so not that different. You know, to just plug into the Cowboys. It was, I was impressed, obviously, by the defense for Nebraska. And again, we talked about the Colorado offense. And I just think that's going to be a shootout team that you don't really want to meet. You're just going to have really elite corners, and you're going to have elite pass rush. That's about the only thing that worked against Colorado was, the pass rush, and you get a sack. He's probably not going to turn it over. He's not going to cough it up. But again, I think I just don't want to overreact. It's 2 games in. You look at Matt Rule's tenure at Baylor and Temple, rocky starts. Maybe you're looking at this roster for Nebraska thinking we had more talent, so you're not expecting that rocky start. But I just kind of think with his programs, that it kind of looks like a reality here. Maybe he picked the wrong quarterback. You can argue that one as well. You look at his time with Carolina Panthers, that was kind of his problem, right? He never really got to pick his guy. Gets to pick his guy here. It's just not working out for him right now. So, just kind of, again, more questions than answers, and the answers we did get weren't necessarily great. Let's go to the text line here and see if we have it coming in here. AA Ron says, what makes you think Rule will stay here? My answer to that is he's been very open about him and his family wanting to be in Lincoln. And I understand some of that could be coach speak, but to double down on it on a weekly basis is kind of where I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's coach speak. Why would you want to bring it up every week if you're not serious about it? Everything indicates to me that he does want to be here for a long haul fix. I think he is a college coach. I think his time at the NFL, I don't think that's for him. It's kind of what he got. I think he likes college, being around the young guys, developing young athletes. He seems like a long-term guy to me. Everything he said in interviews gives me no indication that those are false words. But what are your thoughts on that? I don't know if you've been really watching the Matt Rule pressers, but he gives me an indication that he's a long-term stay as well.
So I understand programs are better than Nebraska right now, but traditionally Nebraska is a high-powered football program. And so with that, with the fans being the way they are, being able to restore the kingdom, that is beautiful in itself. And so if a coach has the mindset that I want to be the guy that made us a powerhouse again, and Rule looks like he is that guy, then there isn't really a promotion for Rule to go and take another job. Going from Temple to Baylor, that's a promotion to him. From Nebraska, it's what, Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Georgia. And I wait, hold on. Outsiders are like, Nebraska's a sub 500 team pretty much every year. Yeah, they're still a storied program. So there's a reason why Florida State's still a great program. So the history is there. And so with that, it's a job that you don't want to give up. You don't want to pass that up, and you want to be the person to bring it back to the Osborne days and Solich and all that. So I don't see him leaving.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. AA Ron agrees. He says fair points. And again, you guys can join the show here. Sartor Heyman text line 402-464-5685. We're obviously talking a little bit Nebraska, Colorado, but we're going across the college football landscape as well. And, I do want to dive into Lakers a little bit here because you got a certain Christian Wood that LeBron, Lee JM has brought him onto the roster. He's always been very favorable. He's been positive in comments about his game anytime they played Christian Wood. What does that mean for the Lakers? What does that mean for Anthony Davis?
So I don't know if you saw the U.S. play against Germany or if you saw the U.S. play against Canada.
Yeah, we didn't place.
But with that, I saw two players on the U.S. And I'm not trying to overhype Austin Reeves because people are getting a little out of control. But Anthony Edwards trusted, and Anthony Edwards is a megastar, and I hope he goes to a big market. Sorry, Minnesota fans, because he needs to be seen. Like he's the dude from the movie. He's the dude from the Adam Sandler movie. He's the baller. He was so good in the Olympics or in FIBA. And so with that, he would draw the double teams. And when they were down against Germany, he would draw the double teams and he would look at Halliburton. He'll look at Bridges and Jaren Jackson. And he's like, nah, let me give it to Reeves. And for him to give it to Reeves, it's not me being a guy there. It's the same thing that LeBron would do when he would have Russell and Davis and anyone else on the court. He would give it to Reeves. And so it's like, why do they trust this guy? When he gets the ball, he looks awkward and he looks like he shouldn't be doing stuff, but he draws the foul and he makes the right basketball play. And so it's surprising that Austin Reeves was the second best player on Team USA. And so he's not even the second best player on the Laker team. I get that. If Team USA had Damian Lillard, they would have won every game by at least 10 plus points. So I understand that Team USA, they needed help. Oh, LeBron, if he comes back, they just needed one megastar.
Yeah, and
it would have been different. Now there's no Jokic, so if Jokic played, Serbia would have won a championship. So we can go and cry about this and that, but the best player in the world didn't play in the World Championships. So.
Yeah, I'm with you there. In the World Cup's always a little different too. It's not like the Olympics. It's very hard to get the best of the best to want to go play in the World Cup. Good luck trying to get LeBron, and even I don't even know. I'll be honest, I don't even know if they really asked those guys at this point. Like a lot of them don't ever seem to want to go there unless they're the younger guys making a name for themselves, or hey, good development, I can be with these guys. But Austin Reeves, I actually thought he'd plug in well over in the World Cup. He reminds me of like a European style player. That's kind of his game. He really doesn't do anything. He's not flashy. He's just right pass, right play, draw the foul if it's there. Like he kind of fits that mold. And again, you talked about it with LeBron. It's Austin Reeves' IQ and his ability to draw the foul and his ability to just not turn the ball over or find the open shooter, whether that's him or someone else spotting up. He just makes the right play. So for him, it's just a guy you trust, not because he's the best player on the court, but he's either going to A, get it to the best player on the court, or B, if it's there for himself, he'll find a way to take it. So I'm with you there on Austin Reeves. I know we don't have DP in here, so it's always a good time to get your Austin Reeves in hype now. But nonetheless, going through that, were you surprised at all? I mean, Dylan Brooks drops 40. That one probably rubs people a little bit the wrong way in the U.S., kind of getting a little bit of mockery from the rest of the world. But again, you talk about the talent. What's it look like if everyone brings the real players, not just the U.S., but everyone else? What are your thoughts on the U.S. losing this, not getting second, not getting first, not even getting bronze? What does this mean for U.S. basketball?
Nothing.
Okay.
It means nothing. Those that played, those that coached, it bothers them because they're competitive. But from a historical perspective, it's the Olympics that matters. And Noah Lyles might want to chime in and talk about what it means to win a world championship. this one was a minor tournament with fringe all-star players. So it is what it is.
What do you think about Brandon Ingram? Not a system that fit him very well. Again, I'm asking you, what can you actually pick out of these games? Brandon Ingram's inability to really perform through the entire time through the World Cup. He just never really had any big games. What are your thoughts on that? And what do you kind of expect for him coming into the NBA season?
So this is where diversity and inclusion is a talk. So the reason why Austin Reeves works well for Team USA is he does the little things. He's a glue guy. And so if you have the reason why the other countries are playing so well is because they have people that fit the roles. So the sniper who shot 44%, his name's not on the tip of my tongue right now for Germany, number 42. He did his job. He was supposed to just get open and make threes. Schroeder did his job. He was supposed to be the defensive pest, but also create for his teammates. And the Wagner brothers, they're supposed to shoot. And so Theis did his job. He played differently than he does in the NBA. So you have to have people that do their jobs, not ISO ball. And Team USA was all ISO ball. They're playing like they're in an all-star game, and that's what happens. So you need the big man that can do something, and Jaren Jackson Jr. was their big man. That's the best big man they can get. And he got exposed on his defensive flaws. Maybe it's the coaching in Memphis. Maybe it's the guard play in Memphis that makes him such a good defender. I don't know. But there was no diversity of talent. It was the same kind of players all around the court, and because of it, U.S. got exposed.
Do you have a chance to watch Giannis and how they utilized him? He was an over-glorified role player. It was very unique. They did not use him as the superstar. It's kind of insane to think. You think that's a team that they might actually kind of go away with the European style and just ISO Giannis. No, he was just a glorified role player for him. They just ran normal sets, and Giannis was setting picks and rolling. Like, he wasn't doing anything crazy. It was kind of unique to see him take a step back and not be, a superstar considering what his resume looks like in the NBA. So it always amazes me how these European teams utilize what we consider the superstars of the NBA. They get over to their teams where, they're the real heroes in their country, and you're a role player. Everyone's a role player. There's no superstars here. We all play together, and it always amazes me. And again, I think with the U.S., if you're not going to bring the best of the best, then you're going to have to play team ball. And it's just something that I don't know if it's because the AAU style we have over here, if it's the early pro access that the guys over in Europe get. Because you look at a lot of those, pro teams, like they will have, talking to the guys that went to Spain to play some of those pro teams, they'll play a roster and it'll be that team, day one, day two, same team. And it's just a different group of players, and they all know each other still. They all play with each other. They're all in multiple groups. So there's also that chemistry there where even though they're all in different countries, it feels like, especially in Europe, a lot of those guys keep seeing each other and they know how to play that style. And I guess that's just kind of a U.S. flaw. I don't know. Is that even fair to say it's a U.S. flaw it's just a different culture, or is it a flaw?
I mean, all it does is it brings urgency to what matters. So this loss allows for greatness for the Olympics. So we will see more talent on Team USA for the Olympics because of it. And there will be more chemistry, cohesion, and talent there. If the U.S. won every game and won by 2, then be like, whatever, we'll be fine. But you will see at least LeBron or Kevin Durant, one of those guys there. You will see an Anthony Davis like center there. You will see a Damian Lillard there, and the Olympics are different. So. Losing shows what you're made of, and that adversity is going to be helpful for the long run.
Yeah, let's hope the adversity is helpful for the long run. I will say if the adversity is the true case, it hasn't worked well for Nebraska. We've faced a lot of it, and we're still waiting for the positive spin through going through the adversity. But nonetheless, you guys can keep chiming in here. We'll throw it to break, and keep in mind we have Royals at 12:30. We do have a couple texts here. Yes, I did see the Amigos commercial during the game. We'll leave it on that one. Again, if you guys want to join the show, feel free to do so. Talk college football, NBA, and we'll see where else we go. This is The Breeze. I'm Harrison. That's Haas. We'll catch you guys on the other side.
College
NFL,
football
baby.
in America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Beef, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Going on with your kids? First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Is this you? You feel the same way every day, and it's not good. You may think there's a magic pill that can fix you. There isn't. Limitless Male has found that the majority of men who admit they feel bad are suffering with low testosterone, which can cause these symptoms: low energy, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, low libido. Sound familiar? Get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. Your first consult is free. Insurance accepted.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
If you're a veteran or know a veteran who's having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, the Veterans Crisis Line provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. Dial 988, then press 1, and you'll be connected to a trained crisis counselor who will listen, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. Thank you for your service. We owe you our support. Dial 988, then press 1. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into The Breeze here on Ticket Weekends. Again, I am Harrison Arns. We got Haas, and didn't even mention it, NFL Haas. kicked off. We have games going on right now. I got the 49ers and Steelers in front of me. It's 10-0. I'm sure you're doing happy. But I'll be honest, it's NFL. Where do you want to go? We got a lot of games happening right now in front of us. Where do you want to go with it, man?
Before the scores get wild, I want to do the Haas-Boss guarantee. It's easy to pick the Niners because it's my team, but I'm going to try to pick them as little as possible. I don't like the Indianapolis Colts. I don't like what they did with Taylor. I don't think they'll be successful this year. They're playing against a playoff team. Divisional game, Jaguars over Colts, Haas-Boss guarantee. I know we're supposed to do it at the end, but I want to do it before the score gets out of control. And it's well, obviously you picked them. They're up 2 touchdowns. So
that's a good pick. If we're going for the guarantees, my guarantee is going to be the Chicago Bears get a win over the Packers money line. I'm not even going to dive in the spread there, but that's fan favorite. If I'm going to pick a real one that I think might surprise a few people, I'm going to go Giants over Cowboys, though. I'll give you 2 picks because I think the Giants are actually going to be a little bit of a sleeper this year. I'm actually kind of up on how they perform. I think the Cowboys are going to have a rough. I think it's going to be a rough season opener. I'm going to go ahead and give it to the New York Giants. Saquon Barkley, see what it looks like. You got Danny Dimes back there. It's going to be interesting. Saquon should be happy. He's got his money now. I think they beat the Cowboys. Cowboys just don't really have a whole lot unless you're thinking Parsons is going to give a lot of trouble back there. But other than that, I'm rolling with the Giants.
I mean, you're in the minority. The country's all about the Cowboys every year. I don't see the hype. I think I'm definitely not on the same page with DP on Dak Prescott. I wish he was here so I could say that to him. The riot comedy jokes on Dak Prescott, and I don't know if you've seen them, but McCarthy talks to him and he's like, so we're going to run this play. We're going to run a Z slant 4-2 Omaha 26. What's that play? What is it? Who are you throwing to? And Dak's like, the other team.
Yeah, I mean, he just, even if you're kind of watching his film through practice, like he just hasn't had a lot of good buzz around him. Nothing that says he's doing well in the offseason either. So it's just kind of, I'm also out on Dak. You give him his run, I think, this year, but I'm not optimistic he's going to get turned around. Accuracy issues are a problem. Game management issues are a problem. Some things are coachable, like the game clock, the game management, just understanding the situation. But as far as the accuracy goes, Josh Allen's probably the only guy that's ever really fixed the accuracy. When you're thinking about quarterbacks who have had accuracy problems in college and then got it under control in the NFL, Josh Allen's probably the only miracle story as far as quarterbacks miraculously, not just a little bit, but miraculously fixing their turnover to touchdown ratio. But I don't see that happening for Dak Prescott. Josh Allen's an anomaly. Again, I don't think that happened. Like, it's very rare you see a quarterback clean that up, especially for how many runs Dak's had now.
I mean, I don't like the Cowboys at all. They're my least favorite team. They're not America's team. So they're not good.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. A few other games of notice. The Commanders are already up 7-0 on the Cardinals. No surprises there. I think the Cardinals are in a world of pain. If you're a Cardinals fan, you are in a lot of pain. Not only are you kind of losing your potential to be good, you lost Hopkins. Murray is just not going to work. As it's pretty clear there. But nonetheless, if you're the Cardinals, even if you tank this season, it's pretty clear you're not getting Caleb Williams either. He's going to go back to college. So if you're the Cardinals, what are you looking for them this season? Just improvement? If you're I really don't know what this season looks like for a Cardinals fan and what you're even trying to get out of it. I think they're just in such a uniquely bad spot.
They're looking for ways for their head coach to be a better motivator. That's what they're looking for. You don't know what I'm talking about.
I've got the pieces. He's not the best. He's not. If you know what Haas is talking about, there's got lots of clips of him trying to dap up Kyler Murray, giving team speeches. Who all here took the bus today? I'm sure you caught that one.
Yeah.
Why that's important? Why these millionaire NFL players would take the bus? I couldn't tell you, but they got to have that fire in their gut. That's the message. Yeah, he's got to become a better motivator. He's just I'm assuming he's got something else to add to his repertoire, because I don't think that's how he got the job, to say the least, after seeing the few clips we've had.
I mean, everyone's on the NFC East bandwagon, and we'll see.
I want to ask you, is there any teams, so now that the season is truly starting, obviously we have Thursday Night Football. It started the NFL season, but this is full slate NFL Sunday. Before the season really starts getting rolling here, and another quick score updates. Titans up 3-0 on the Saints. Jaguars up 7-0 on the Colts. And then you have the Buccaneers up 3-0 on the Vikings. Baker Mayfield, maybe he'll get it done over the Vikings. That could be big for him. But are there any teams this year, before things really get in the flow, that are a league pass team, a team that you're expecting to do more than maybe what the predictions have them at?
It's a tough one. Like, people will always go hype the playoff teams from last year if they're young. So the Seahawks will get hype. The Jaguars will get hype. The Chargers are right on the doorstep. I know they lost a 28-point lead, but they're a win or two away from winning the AFC West. And if they do that, then they win the AFC. The whole AFC East, that's probably the best story. So Aaron Rodgers, is Belichick going to be Belichick and finally get them back to normal? The Dolphins are really good and the Bills are really good. So those are stories right there. I want to see the young quarterbacks. I want to see what they do. I think Houston can surprise people. D'Amico Ryans is a great coach, so they can definitely surprise people. From a playoff perspective, it's hard to say it now, but before the Lions game, I'd be like, the team that is going to surprise people are the Lions, because everyone thinks the Vikings will still win that division. So, but now the cat's out of the bag, so that's not a good one. I can see Washington with the change of culture, even though their quarterback is a mystery. With the change of culture, if they have the right defense, which they do, they were the first team to beat Philadelphia last year. Washington, and I know I just said NFC has too much hype. They can go and surprise people. So it doesn't matter, though. It's the 49ers, and Kansas City could be the 7 seed, and I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes, that was kind of a weird game against the Lions. That was the first time where I was watching it, and he was just kind of missing open throws. There's guys open on the field, and go ahead. You're cutting me off. Let's hear it. I definitely saw some plays where just wasn't hitting guys that were open.
I was asked to play wide receiver at halftime, so that's how bad the receivers were playing.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough on that one. Obviously, no Travis Kelce, not doing him any favors either. But again, I guess if you're looking, that's the one kind of kryptonite of the Chiefs, is if they really have to get forced into a run game, if they're out on skill players or they're just not as talented as they need to be, maybe that's the way you can beat them. But with Kelce back, I mean, we've seen what they do. Kelce runs his own route every damn time. It's just, he's an impossible guy to guard. I see them getting a lot better. I'm not going to panic too much. I'm right there with you, where even if they get in there as a 7 seed, you're still probably not going to bet against Mahomes. But when I'm thinking of sleepers, not necessarily teams that are probably going to make a run to the Super Bowl, obviously, but I'm actually looking at Baker Mayfield and this Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this is the year he gets it worked out for him. I think this is a last shot. If he doesn't make it work here, I mean, he's done. It's pretty much simple as that at this point. I'd be very surprised if he gets another shot. But I think Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers, he's kind of got to perform. Obviously today, I still believe they're up 3-0. But that kind of seems like a team where I'm expecting Baker Mayfield to kind of tick up and finally solidify himself as a solid starter in the NFL. Because again, if it doesn't work here, his career as an NFL quarterback is backup at best. Looking over to another team, Texans. I actually pretty high on the Texans. I think it'll be a later than earlier process, obviously. But I just have a lot of confidence in CJ Stroud. And you pair him up with the back and Dameon Pierce, who's going into his second season now. That's just such a big help. I mean, you see it obviously with Brock Purdy, what it looks like when you have a running back that can just give you downs and not put the whole team on your back. Something that Fields never had, something that, you look at a guy like Hurts early on, didn't quite have it, and then eventually start getting the help he needs. When you have that support around you, which they don't necessarily have it at the receiver core yet, but they got a running back that just alleviates a lot off your shoulders as a young quarterback trying to carry an entire NFL team. So I actually think the Texans later down the stretch with Dameon Pierce, CJ Stroud, I think they could get it cooking here. I'm also just really high on CJ Stroud. He's, to me, one of the smarter quarterbacks I've ever seen at the college level.
I like it. Well, with that, then Carolina should be a sleeper because they have the defense to do things. And so with that, I think their rookie quarterback's better than CJ Stroud, and I think the division is theirs to take. So watch out for Carolina also.
Yeah, I'm not there with you on that one. I'm not as high on Carolina. I think this year could be another just a really abysmal year for them. Yeah, the defense should be fine, but offensively, I just don't know really what we got. One more score update here before we go ahead and throw it to our final break. Tied up between the Colts and Jaguars, 7-7. Second quarter just started. We'll keep you guys updated as these scores continue to rattle through here. And for all your fantasy football listeners out there too, good idea to keep your eye on the scores. But nonetheless, this is The Breeze. I'm Harrison. That's Haas streaming in. You can always join the show. Starter Heyman text line. Give me your NFL hot takes, 402-464-5685. Streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo Channel 951. Again, this is The Breeze. Harrison, Haas. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box. I will probably not touch the fuse box. Sip, do you remember what happened last time? Yeah, I remember. What happened? Half of the city block lost power. And? My chicken condo went haywire. That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead? Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415. Or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. And you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. Brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You were so excited until one bad rain and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless dollars in damages when it can be avoided. Call John Henry's today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435-5555. John Henry's coming. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? Worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish, and don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into The Breeze here on Ticket Weekends. Again, streaming only on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo, Channel 951. You can always join the show through the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. And again, we do have live NFL football going on as well. So any of your NFL hot takes, I'd love to see what you guys have, especially this early in the season. It's pretty much fair game. So again, feel free to chime in the show. But as we're kind of going through these scores here, again, it looks like your 49ers actually just went up again, 17-0 against the Steelers. I didn't ever ask you, how did you feel going into that game? Because I have talked to quite a few people. I knew some people that were picking the Steelers for an upset.
Everyone was talking about the Steelers. Everyone was saying Kenny Pickett in his second year is going to come back. He won his last 5 games last year. He was the ACC Player of the Year. He won the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm in college. He was the best offensive player in the ACC. And I kept saying Brock Purdy is the man. Brock Purdy, it doesn't matter what's around him. It does help. But if you watch the second touchdown that he threw to Ayuk, it was a dime on the back shoulder. Only place that could be caught by Ayuk. I know that there's great quarterbacks that can throw that throw. I haven't seen that kind of quarterback in San Francisco. I said since Steve Young. I'm aware Jeff Garcia was there. I'm aware Alex Smith was there. I'm aware Kaepernick was there. I'm aware Garoppolo was there. And I'm aware Trey Lance was there. And Purdy is the man. You need to go see this throw. And if we're going to talk about the Niners, I'll say one more thing. Ayuk had this swagger about him as if he was Jerry Rice or if he was Terrell Owens in the preseason and in training camp. And for a guy who has grown every year, maybe now he has the quarterback that he needs to actually throw the ball, and the Niners will pass more than run. Maybe Ayuk will be the top caliber wide receiver that the Niners need.
I mean, yeah, we'll see it. That's one thing. They got a quarterback now, and he definitely has potential. I can't really go back on it because I talked about the accuracy things, the accuracy issues quarterbacks have, and it's really something you can't fix. Well, Chubba Purdy, it's Chubba Purdy, Brock Purdy. So I'm going back to Nebraska. Brock Purdy, he doesn't have accuracy issues. Yeah, right now, I mean, again, short sample. They haven't gotten through the first half yet, but again, he's 10 for 12, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kenny Pickett, 5 for 7, 14 yards, 1 interception. And again, Kenny Pickett, small sample size. He just got another yard, 5 for 8 on 9 yards. But nonetheless, it's just one of those things where the more Brock Purdy performs at this level, the 49ers are looking scarier and scarier. Because I know it's a small sample, but this is the game I have on in front of me because I knew I'd be talking to you, Haas. And he looks electric right now. I mean, he's just not making mistakes. Kind of the same thing with Sanders. He seems like a guy that even if you're getting bad pressure, you're not getting a clean pocket, he doesn't force it. He'd rather just take the sack and punt or throw it out of bounds and punt. Like, you're never seeing him in situations where he feels like he needs to make the play for the team. I think it's a very hard thing for quarterbacks. And that's kind of take that. You want that ego, you want that confidence, but it can really burn you if you have too much. And he just makes the right plays. And now they're up 17-0 as a result because he just hasn't made an error yet. I'm with you on Brock. I'm getting there.
There you go. I mean, maybe people watch Brett Favre too much growing up instead of Dan Marino and Joe Montana. And Brett Favre, for all the great throws he'd have that one throw across his body to the other side of the field, and it would be an interception. And it's like, what are you doing? And so at the arm that Brett Favre had and how good he was, he had some Jameis Winston and Dak Prescott like throws too. And so to live for another day as a quarterback, that's a skill in itself, and you're spot on.
Yeah, and again, I'm just kind of curious to see how this 49ers team continues to round out, because obviously they're already in talks for a potential Super Bowl appearance. In your eyes, a Super Bowl win, but again, if Brock Purdy keeps looking this impressive, the only reason why they wouldn't be considered favorites is because you got Mahomes and Allen in the way. It's really coming down to that. I think the roster's so good around him, and he's just doing the right things, right? It's one thing to have a good roster around you. It's another thing to utilize it and not waste that talent. And that's something he shares the ball around. It's not like he favors guy on his reads. He goes through all his progressions. Like, I'm just getting more impressed game by game. Haas, I'm going to ask one more prediction for you, and this one's personal for me and family relatives. You can see the shirt I'm wearing. Bears-Packers today, 325. What's your prediction?
So the first time in 30 years that Favre or Rodgers hasn't been the game one starter for Green Bay. That's pretty big. No Watson at wide receiver. The Bears do have running backs. They've kind of gotten rid of their defensive ends. I'm going to go ahead and say, the Bears.
That's what I love to hear. The Bears is where we're going with that. I'm 100% with you there. I think I'll tell you this much. If Jordan Love is another Rodgers and Favre, like, that is a nightmare to consider that it'd be 3 generational quarterbacks in a row. And I refuse to believe that, luck is that fortunate for the Green Bay Packers. With that being said, though, we do got to go ahead and get out of here. I'm also going Bears. I'm going to go ahead and put them at a 28-21 win. We're going the Bears, and with the 49ers, I think you're seeing it right now. Should be a good day for you, Haas, unless something tragic happens.
Games are never over in the second quarter, so
fair enough. We'll see what happens here. Again, this has been The Breeze. I'm Harrison. That's Haas. Go to ticketfm.com in case you missed any of the shows. We'll see you guys all next week.